a lot of people, I feel like, have just become way too comfortable on the internet. And I don't mean that in a people have become comfortable being themselves, but in a people have become way too comfortable being mean and cruel to others in the guise of just keeping it real. And I don't know when things have shifted to being like that, but it's just weird to see out and about. I can't even go into a comment section of a video of a young girl talking about, like a child, talking about her struggles with an eating disorder, specifically like ARFID, without people being like, oh, she just a picky eater, you just have to like, if I had a daughter like that, I would just spank her and she would be normal. What's up with all this woke left, whatever. And I'm like, how are you as a grown ass adult with a job so comfortable saying that to a literal child who is struggling? You get what I'm saying? Or, you know, a woman, not even just a woman, just like a woman, like specifically, it's usually like a woman on like these types of comments that are cool are usually towards like women too. People cannot exist without some pushback. And whenever people like I say that, the response to that is, well, you don't have to post yourself. You don't have to. You can just keep yourself private, and people should not have to, live under, people should not have to, how do you say it? Live, yeah, put themselves, like hide themselves in a cupboard, far from civilization, just not be judged. Whatever happened to the phrase that our parents used to say of, oh, if you have nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. And, people forget that behind a screen, that's a person who 9 times out of 10 probably reads those comments that you post, that you got, like, that you hide under the guise of just keeping it real, just giving advice. You know what I mean? And even if you have your opinion, your truth, as you call it, you don't have to comment it. You know what I mean? And it's not even, people aren't even comfortable doing all of that. They also have become comfortable, pushing themselves into spaces where they don't necessarily belong just because it's trendy, Whether that's the, the quirky, weird kid fandoms is like anime and feeling like they own the space. You know what I mean? Like during COVID, it was very um during COVID it was very common for like the bored popular kids to get into the weird kid medias and make fun of the weird kids, and but at the same time going online being like, wow, anime's so good, anime's so good, even though that anime was a thing that they made fun of the weird kids for liking. That's just an example, but like also I've noticed that with the alt culture, the alternative scene, whether that's punk, goth, emo, whatever, a lot of like conservatives, right wingers, whatever, they've just injected themselves into that space, the alt space. And when the actual alternative people tell them, hey, you're not welcome here. If you're a conservative, you are not welcome in the alt space, and the real goths, the real punks, just consider you a poser. All of a sudden it's, oh, what happened to the tolerant left? What happened with tolerance and love and peace? And they still feel comfortable calling themselves alternative, even though their beliefs are not the alternative from, what the majority is pushing, what the, what the people in power are pushing. And you can say, like, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, for example, LGBT, whatever, that's not the alternative. That stuff is being pushed onto us. Like, no, it's not. Most governments, most countries are vehemently against that stuff. They're pushing against that. And, you gotta be some kind of, you gotta be living in a bubble to think otherwise. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's definitely like COVID. You know what I mean? Like with everything that I've said, like people being mean. Well, actually, like people just being mean in the comments. It's like that's been around forever. But I feel like COVID for both points that I made, like people being mean online and people pushing, just like inserting themselves in places that they're not welcome. COVID played a part in that, even if it's not the central, like, I guess, reason. You know what I mean? And I feel like because people were bored, like, I don't know if it is specifically COVID for, I don't know if, like, COVID had, like, a part to play in people being more mean, but it did play a part in, like, people inserting themselves into communities that they're not really welcome in. You know what I mean? But I do feel like people generally seem to be comfortable in being mean to people and to others online because they feel like real life and the internet are two separate things, and what you say online has no effect on like the real world. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, people are just weird, and that has been on my mind because I've just been like not doom scrolling, but just like constantly like been scrolling on like on the internet a lot more, on like social media, and just reading the comments to some of what, and scrolling the comments of some of the videos, and I'm like, damn, people are mean. I feel like that's just like, I've noticed that more because a lot of the comments that I've scrolled through are Instagram comments, and it's been said that people on Instagram and the Instagram comments are just mean to others, and I don't know what to say. Y'all are too comfortable, and maybe y'all should stop. So yeah,